Welcome back to the group chat on Tuesday, the 18th of March now, I believe. We're a couple days out from our All Whites World Cup qualifier against Fiji. We're just talking about that. But that'll come later in the week. We're going to dive into the weekend just gone. Phil, how have you been?
Very well.
Great.
Even better that the Warriors somehow managed to win. I've got the bass on. I'm going to take this off.
Got a bit of extra weight over there.
Jeepers, 5 kg dumbbell. So heavy. 36-16. A lot of people said plus 8.5 wouldn't be enough.
A lot of people said that.
Shush. Get back on the train. Big win against a very good Eagle side. Warriors played so much better. So stoked. Very happy.
Yeah, that looked unreal at Mount Smart. Just different gravy over there as opposed to Vegas. I think Mount Smart's where it's at for the fellas.
Yeah. Wellington still needs a sports venue, though. We are seriously lacking.
A stadium, or are you talking like a sports bar?
Full-on dedicated sports bar that can run multiple channels. We went to a certain bar. I will not name names.
Oh, in Wellington?
Obviously the Hurricanes were on from 7.
Yep.
So,
and Warriors kicked off at 8.
Correct. So when this venue has multiple projectors and multiple TVs, so we wrongfully assumed that you could watch different. You could split channel it. Effectively, they would have at least the Warriors on, and they would have the Hurricanes on for the Union and the league fans, because there were a couple leagueies around waiting for it to come on, and it never really did. And
so you're sitting there at the table. You've got the Hurricanes versus Highlanders on the big screen, the screen behind you, the screen on your left, and the screen on the roof. And then to watch the Warriors, you got to pull out your phone and stream it.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Up until about 10 minutes before halftime, 5 minutes before halftime.
Yeah.
Let's just say we were on time for the game, and the Union fans came, on time for the Warriors game. So when we got there was hardly anyone watching the Union. They were just there for drinks and having a good time at the bar.
Oh, right.
And then so we're like, oh, sweet, surely they change it over. But because they'd advertised the game on their socials, they couldn't not play it. So then we waited very patiently.
Oh, so they'd advertise the Hurricanes-Highlanders game on their socials. You'd think, though, you need to invest into being able to split channels. Like I was back in Auckland on the weekend for a Drake concert that got cancelled. God damn. But non-refundable flights, non-refundable accommodation. You know what that means?
You're going.
Sky City business trip, baby. But F1 was on, so that was one of my top moments for the weekend.
Not in Auckland, though, but yes, it was on.
Was not on in Auckland, but I did go down, took the fellas down to Tyler Street Sports Bar, watched it down there.
Nice.
Same start time as Auckland FC. So again, same dilemma, but guess what they do up in Auckland?
Split channels.
They have split channels.
Even full-time bar would have had.
Full-time would have been great for it, and it would have had the racing, would have had everything on. So they had... If you walk in on the waterfront side, Auckland FC, because they had the pre-match package where you get your burger, beer, bus to the game against Central Coast. That left about 3:30, so we rocked up after that.
Yep.
Football on one side, F1 on the other side.
Beautiful.
And you couldn't hear the football if you're on the F1 side. You couldn't hear the F1 if you're on the football side unless something was happening. Yep. And the crowd was actually... And it was a good crowd too, for both events. Something we've severely lacked down here, and it's so sad.
Yeah, very sad. I'll do you one better. Warriors, from halftime, no audio.
Oh, God.
Just music. Just
You're
music.
taking the piss.
But I tell you what, my table and the table next to us didn't matter. Still loved it. Still had Up the Wise chants going. Still had excitement galore. But
So where did they go wrong? They had audio for Hurricanes Highlanders, I'm assuming.
Nope.
Oh, what? No audio whatsoever. What were they doing? Playing music?
Tunes. Fat tunes. Yeah.
I really want to know the name of the bar.
Well, not too many. Not
it's
too
not
many
going to get better.
Not too many.
In Wellington, unless we start calling these bars out.
Yeah. It's not happening.
Okay, so, yeah.
Also,
okay.
a query.
For me? A query for me?
These Union fans that turned up late to watch the Union game. I didn't mind it because it was a sick game. Very close.
Good
20
game.
points to 18. I go, do you care about Union that much if you're turning up 60 minutes into the game only to complain when we changed it to the Warriors game? And then you're like, no, we're watching. Yeah. And it's like, I don't think you would have gone to watch the Hurricanes, actually. You wouldn't have... If they were playing live at the stadium, I don't think you would go. Sky Stadium turnout's always so poor.
No, they definitely wouldn't go. But
I think you stumbled upon the game and you decided, yes.
Yeah, and it's a close game. Okay, let's keep it on at Sport Wellington, yeah.
Which is understandable.
To be fair, watching in Wellington at a bar, regardless of how shocking our sports bar scene is down here, it's still better than going to the stadium.
Yeah.
We're going to find out. We're both keen to go
UFC
to the All
as well,
Whites.
actually. This bar does UFC fantastically.
Oh, true.
Audio included.
Wow. Maybe that's because it comes in the PPV. Where, Skies. But yeah, I guess we'll find out because we're both keen to go to the All Whites on Friday against Fiji in that World Cup qualifier semi. We're going to find out what the experience is like. I'm not sure how good it's looking.
I'm not expecting much.
I'm sure the All Whites are going to put on a bit of a goal fest. That's the hope,
potentially.
Anyway.
Hopefully.
I've heard from a little insider source that they've already booked their accommodation and 3-night stay in Auckland. So they're expecting a final to be played at Eden Park on Monday.
If you're not betting Fiji football, with all due respect, then
what are you doing?
Why do you think you should go to the World Cup? So,
yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah. So let's go back. So our weekend highlights. Mine was F1 being back. Very cool to see in Melbourne. I actually have my Ferrari shirt underneath.
Oh, unlucky.
My
Sorry
big jersey, but no Ferrari result this weekend. Well done to Lando. Good to see, you've got Antonelli up there, debut, speeding P4 for Mercedes. Good competitive race in the rain. I don't know about Liam Lawson. That Red Bull second seat seems cursed. It's first race in the
Early
Red
doors.
Bull in the wet. So,
track.
my God, it looked like the guys were driving on ice for a little bit out there.
Yep.
Who was it that spun out in the freaking formation lap?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? And he's a rookie on debut.
Yes.
You don't even make it to the lights out and away we go. Yeah,
Hadja spinning out on debut.
That's right.
Dohan on turn 5, I think, of the first lap, also on debut. Gone.
Yeah. Surprisingly, we see a hypothetical line watching the start of the race. How many lockups going into turn 1? And I thought I was pretty spot on having a line at 3.5, and we kind of went around the table over. I had over 3.5 lockups going into turn 1. 0 lockups going into turn 1. But all the action just happened after or before. That was a good race, a good one to kick it off, and I think we're going to be in for a competitive year of F1. Those McLarens look quick.
They do.
Max is doing well, although he was out most of the race until a safety car at the end, and then he's right up Lando's ass, and I thought he's going to pip this year. He was paying $5 to win at some point. So
there was a moment, the two McLarens up front, they were looking good.
Piastri and Lando, they both kind of spun out at the same time, and Piastri got stuck in the grass. Unfortunate in his home Grand Prix.
Yep.
I would like to go to one of those one day.
Definitely.
I think it'd be a cool weekend, cool event. Although what you were saying last week to 10-minute Uber away was something
$90.
Like $90.
I
Pretty
agree,
ridiculous.
Though. Also, one of my highlights, F1, but in particular, the consistency of Ferrari to just pump out memes.
Oh my goodness!
Organically, and it was Leclerc saying, "Is there a leakage in my car?" And then the engineer goes, "A leakage of what?" And Leclerc says, "I have a seat full of water."
Well, what must it be?
Full of water. And the engineer goes, "Must be water."
Did you get Claire's reply as well?
And he says, "Let's add that to the words of wisdom."
Yeah. The team radios are so funny, man. And they've actually put a ban on swearing over the team radios now, so you get fined over the radio.
Wow.
And I think the drivers are just low-key going to, because they earn so much cash, it doesn't actually matter. They're going to take the piss out of it. I think they're swearing on the mics. And
Hamilton got the full Ferrari experience as well. He seemed very fired up in the first race of the season. So Ferrari are going to be very entertaining to watch this year.
When they talk about, we're moving to plan B, and they're like, wait, was it plan B or plan C? Do we even have plan B, plan C? Oh,
jeepers.
It's, Ferrari are their own worst enemies over the last couple of years.
Yep. Must be the water.
To see.
So good. Obviously, he was referring to the water that they drink or the rain. It couldn't have been, but that response was
a leakage of what? Must be water then. Fuck's sake. Are you kidding me? These guys get paid so much money to do their job properly, and that's what they come up with?
Yeah.
Straight away, though, on my TikTok feed is F1 radio memes. Right away.
Good.
It's good to have it back.
It's good value.
And I actually started, I hadn't watched the F1 Drive to Survive Season 7 yet, so I started that on the back of the F1. I started that last night.
7 seasons already?
Yeah, 7 seasons. So start of Season 7 takes me back to the start of the last Formula 1 season, so the 2024 season. So I know what happens.
Yeah.
But good watching, good viewing. I think they do that well. I watched the Full Swing Golf one, finished that. It was 7 episodes. I think the F1, that's just the one, that's their bread and butter. They do that so well compared to the other ones. I mean, the other ones are all good. Not that you'd dabble because you don't like that format of documentary, but I think the F1 is the best one they do.
I'll inquire in at least one episode, perhaps.
I did also have the Canes plus the Wars win as a highlight. Good to see the Canes get up down south, and stoked to see the Warriors get up, especially because we had it in our multi that got put out on socials.
Very nice.
$11 multi, we got it up 2 legs each. Thanks for coming.
Very nice.
Yes, sir. And then my other one actually just happened this morning, and I'd preempted it. I put it in yesterday when I sent you the run sheet. I put in Rory McIlroy winning the Players. And I put that in at the 16th hole when Rory was on the 16th. 1-shot lead, went par. Is it JJ Spawn, the Canadian, who ended up coming second, went par, birdie, par to tie it to send it to a playoff.
Wow.
But they'd had a delay in the weather, so they had to come back this morning and play a 3-hole playoff. And Rory came out on top, winning his second tour event this year. So he's on fire heading into the Masters.
What a muck around, though, to come back the next day and having to play
another 3 holes.
Yeah.
He birdied the first, so it was 16, 17, 18. He birdied the first and won from there. So clinical from Rory. Speaking of expensive Ubers, he paid $900 and something bucks to Uber his old set of driver and woods from his house to the golf course because he wasn't happy with the new ones. $900 and something Uber.
Oh, you're kidding.
Crazy. But he's just pocketed like another $3 million for winning the Players.
Wow.
And I'd love to see Rory win the Masters. So he's in good form heading into the Masters, the first major of the year. So those are my highlights.
Agreed.
So you had F1, Warriors as well?
Yeah, the F1 and the Warriors.
The F1 memes more.
More so specifically F1 Ferrari. I mean, Hamilton was even leading, at some point with 10 laps to go.
Yeah, it's because they stayed out. They didn't pit. If they pitted, they probably would have finished a little bit higher.
Yeah. It's just chaos.
Unless the rain it was absolute chaos. It was a great way to start the season. And did you have a third?
No. We normally have 2, don't we?
I normally do 3. But it's okay.
Chiefs winning by 1 point then.
Yeah, nice.
Nice.
All right, let's dabble in Super Rugby then since you brought it up. Blues improving.
Yep.
Chiefs still too good though. Bounce back performance for the Chiefs. Firstly, what did you make of the Black Panther jerseys for the Chiefs and Spider-Man for the Blues?
It's one of the better ones of the
Black
kits.
Panther?
Yeah.
I agree.
Do still question mark the Hurricanes kit choice.
Captain America.
Yeah.
I get because it's Captain Hurricane, Captain America, but the color choices
blue and red
don't make sense.
Blue and red.
What would you go for? You'd have to go for
like a Wolverine.
Yeah, Wolverine.
Or even give Hurricanes the Black Panther so they can have the black, the yellow and black, So at least they have and then Chiefs could have something red even.
You go like But then the Satyrs had Iron Man.
Yep.
The Highlanders, were they the Hulk?
Yep.
They were the Hulk, eh?
Yep.
And then, Blues, Spider-Man, Chiefs, Black Panther, Canes, Captain America. It was a weird one. Satyrs, Iron Man. What was your favourite, the Chiefs and Black Panther?
Probably. It was that or the Spider-Man one. I mean, I don't know. The South African teams did it quite a few years back, and I don't know.
I think they looked better on the field than they did in the images. Well, I just don't really understand. Super Kids round. Did they raise any money for charity? I don't know. It was something for the kids. Super.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
But I don't know. Maybe I've made that up. No, it's definitely for the kids. Like it's a Super Kids round.
Okay.
I don't know if it was for charity.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like I've seen that somewhere, but I could be pulling that out of thin air. Take that with a grain of salt.
A one-off sort of thing that doesn't really make a whole lot difference if that money could have been spent elsewhere. I don't know.
Like, it's a novelty thing. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I don't mind. You don't catch me buying a Captain America Hurricanes jersey, though.
No. But it was a good kit, just not for the Hurricanes. Give it to someone else.
But who would you give it to?
The Blues can have it. Give Chiefs a full red Spider-Man suit, the red and black, rather than a red and blue. You know, Hurricanes can have Wolverine. Hurricanes can have Black Panther. It just looked weird on them. I don't know.
I reckon if they did a DC ones would have gone harder rather than Marvel. Like your Batman, your Superman, Venom, all those. Oh, that'd be kind of sick.
Draw it up.
So anyway, back to the game. Chiefs win.
Yep. Another misconversion being the difference really for the Blues.
Yeah.
Hitting the bar.
What's the young guy's name that took it? Do you reckon Perifetta should have taken that kick at the end?
I don't know. Also had Bowden Barrett miss multiple kicks the week before for them, so I don't really... I would have assumed Perifetta would take the kick spot.
With the experience.
That's just not how the game went.
So. But also, the Blues know not like if you don't win a competition based on a last-minute kick. Like they got to be playing better.
Perifitta's first game back, wasn't it? So
yeah, it's true.
There's levels.
So did you watch that game? Parts of it?
Yeah. Parts.
Yeah.
Chipping in and out.
Yeah. I was more just happy because I tipped them 1-12.
Me
Chiefs.
too.
Come on. Yeah, so did you.
Oh, that was my lock pick. I thought it was my ladder, but it wasn't.
What was your ladder pick?
May have been Fanua Blake.
I was. Did he score?
Everyone but Fanua Blake scored, I think. So, yeah, there you go.
Okay. The Highlanders Hurricanes game, I've kind of touched on a little bit. I do think at the end, did you see that game?
Yep.
I do think at the end.
The second half of it waiting for the Warriors.
Without volume, though.
Correct.
I do think there was a high tackle at the end on the Hurricanes down the right-hand side. Yeah, I thought we were going to give away. The Canes have done well not to give away a penalty in that last phase. Also, oh my goodness, I've just remembered. They won the penalty at about halfway.
Yep.
79 minutes on the clock. What do you do?
Who am I?
You're the captain of the Hurricanes. You're Captain America for the Hurricanes.
They go for the 3.
You kick the 3? Milk the clock? That, or I'd take a scrum in midfield, milk the clock, kick it out when the siren sounds. They kick to touch. Line out. What can go wrong at a line out?
Yeah.
And in this instance, not straight. Hand it over, penalty Highlanders, straight back into their half after the hooter. You give away a penalty, it's game over.
Yeah. Dangerous.
I thought that was one of the most stupid decisions by the Hurricanes to kick for touch there.
To be fair, the same could be said for a scrum on halfway. It could be turned over.
It could be. I think you've got more chance of getting the ball back up from a scrum than you do a line out. You should back both, but I'd say scrum. Yeah, you're right. Kick for goal.
Yeah.
You've got what's the shot clock? 45 seconds, 30 seconds? 79 minutes on the clock. Just, have a whack.
Have a whack.
Anyway, I'm glad the Canes won. They move off the bottom of the table now. Highlanders are showing good fight under Jamie Joseph.
Yep, they are.
They're doing a lot better than what people imagined. So, and I think every game so far, especially between the New Zealand teams, have been a coin toss. Like, you really can't pick a definite winner, which has been great.
No, you can't. Good to see. Blues will be loving not being on the bottom of the table either anymore.
So who has moved to the bottom?
Moana Pacifica take that spot. Then Fijian draw at 10, Blues at 9.
Do you have the ladder there? Is Chiefs still at the top?
18 points, 4 points clear. But they've played a game more.
An extra game.
Than Crusaders, Reds, ETC.
Yeah, okay. That Crusaders game obviously backed 25.5. The Force. Like you said, it was tight at halftime. The Crusaders just ran away with it.
Looking great at halftime. I was very comfortable. And then, big second half.
James Connor's almost making a bit of a statement that he needs to be starting in that 10 jersey. So he ran a good cutter when he came on. And they ran the score up, obviously, with him running the cutter.
Yep.
I do think, though, having him there as the experienced guy to come on, like you let the young guy run the show at 10. Like, it's your jersey. If you make a couple of mistakes, we're not going to take it off you. And James Conner can come on at the end. But he's asking questions for sure.
Yep.
And then, yeah, that's all the New Zealand games.
Plenty of tries in that Crusaders game. My goodness.
The Will Jordan pass. Who was on the left wing for the Crusaders? The grubber and score. You see that? That was very nice. That was Gareth Bale-esque.
Super Reese had a big game too.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Macca Springer or Matt Springer? Whatever his name is. Fantastic.
How'd your fantasy Super Rugby go?
I know Super Reese scored 100 points.
Yo.
D-Mac as well was up there because I captained him.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough week. It's tough, actually, in that Super Rugby. I feel like I have to offload half my team every week for some reason.
Yeah.
Between teams having a bye or players being benched, players being injured. It's not been easy.
But they do allow for that full.
Indeed.
How did I go last week?
The Force, obviously, benching all of their Wallabies players was a big kick in the teeth for me.
Mm-hmm.
I've been big on the Force players.
Yeah.
Tizano in particular, but it's what it is.
I had a decent week, apart from Anton Leonard-Brown not playing. Forgot to move him out.
Yeah.
Nholo scored, Tavatanawai. Cam Roygaard at skipper, 108 points. Good week, round 5 for me, I believe.
Very nice.
Let me check. How are we going in our work league? Oh, what? I say I have a good week. I'm coming second to last.
Well, every week before there needs to count as well, doesn't
it? Yeah. All right, let's go NRL. We've touched on the Wars Manly game, different at Mount Smart.
Yep.
Out of all those games of round 2, what result shocked you the most? Because there were some good ones.
There were a few shock results, I think. Ultimately, the big one is Roosters beating the Panthers.
That takes the cake for you?
Yeah, Roosters were terrible in that opening week against the Broncos. Yes, the Broncos also lost, but the Raiders were good in week 1.
Mm-hmm.
They were just as good this week. Panthers, though, I don't know what went on. Roosters looked clinical. And they were actually putting in some tackles this week too, which is good to see. They're usually quite exposed on the edge. Brian Toto did score a good solo try there, but they had a really good try save at the end of the game. I think it was Tupou. And if you look back to last week, that's a try they would have just scored very easily, or would have conceded very easily. So putting 38 points on the Panthers, that's a shock result for me.
Not many people do that. Not many teams are capable of 38 on the 4-time champs.
Yeah, and I do just wonder if one or two players in that Panthers side have a bad day, who's left to direct the team? There's no Luai to help you out anymore.
No Luai to lean on. Obviously, Dylan Edwards is still out at the moment, injury.
Yeah, he did play, though.
Did he get injured in the game then? I was checking the casualty ward this morning.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's going to be out. Again, that leads into not a lot of guys being able to step up if a Cleary is having a bad game or Isaiah Yeo is having a bad game.
So, yeah, much better performance from the Roosters, and the Warriors play them this week, so it's going to be...
it could be tough timing for them. I saw
both had a good week, though. Both teams had a good week.
The Roosters are the second biggest underdog ever in NRL history to win. Betting underdog.
It's like $9.50 or something.
Something like that.
$9.
Might have crept up to around 11.
Really? Wow.
But they're up there. That's a massive result, I guess.
That's big.
I wonder what do you know what the Raiders were paying to beat the Broncos? Because again, everyone thought,
about 220 or 240,
was that close?
I think. Yeah.
They
weren't that far off.
It was the point start in that Panthers game. It was like they were favoured by nearly 20 points. The Panthers.
Hey?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because Roosters were out to like $9 when you say even 11, so yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think, for everyone, that Panthers Roosters was a shock result. But the Broncos going down. Do they have it in them? I don't know if they have it in them
for the Cowboys. Absolutely, they're going to pump the Cowboys. I think that was an off week for them.
So you'd still back the Broncos to be a top 4 team?
Absolutely.
They have the heart. They have the grit.
Yeah, I just think it was a very average week from them.
Mm-hmm.
Still put 22 on the board. Sea Eagles also were kind of average. Look, Watu let me down in my fantasy draft, just saying. I don't know.
And then the Tigers turned it up a little bit against that. I mean, you could probably lock the Eels in as wooden spooners.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Wooden spoon Eels all day.
Do you have? Do we have wooden spoon markets?
We would. We should.
You want to check if the if the Eels aren't $1.30 or less for the wooden spoon right now, I think we need to have a word with the bookies.
Also, Rabbitohs winning by 1 point. Old mate Humphreys with a drop kick.
Yeah.
Bloody beautiful. Let's see. Outrights.
What do you got?
Grand final winner, Melbourne Storm, $3.
Yeah, it's fair. Well, the Panthers dropped down to, they still top 2, top 3?
The second, $5. Yep. Brisbane Broncos third, $6. Sharks
so, okay,
fourth.
They're keeping the Broncos in there. I don't know. I mean, it kind of feels like not a team full of
most
pretty boys.
Losses.
But, okay, so
this is our wooden spoon equivalent. Parramatta Eels, $4. Cowboys, $4.50. I agree with both those. They're both terrible at the moment.
Wow. I mean, like, you talked about it with the Eels not being able to defend.
Yes.
And we see that again with the Tigers scoring 32 points on them.
And also, I think I said, as a team, they just don't look very cohesive. They're struggling to score against a team that missed 50 tackles last week. You're scoring 6 points.
Exactly. Like
there's not a lot to offer.
It's one thing not being able to defend and you're conceding points, but usually teams that can't defend, it's probably because they've got guys who are more attacking focused. You're going to go out and put points on the board as well.
Yeah, they're struggling to do both.
They are not doing either. Yeah, they are not defending. They are not attacking. They're basically. You reckon a New South Wales Cup team would beat would beat the Eels?
A what?
New South Wales Cup team?
Shit, probably. I think the NSW Warriors would beat them for sure.
That's always a good side, though. They're always pretty strong. The NSW Warriors team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I said that pumping.
And Mitch Moses has been pushed out to week 7 now, return, which sucks for my fantasy because I'm running 1/2 at the moment. It's Tamari Martin.
That is an issue.
The only bad thing I took away from that Warriors game was because they won, they're going to stick with that half pairing.
Well, and Harris Tavita was the first person to score as well.
Exactly.
And he was the main question mark.
So if they had lost, Tamari Martin, he's probably in there. He's got a good case to be in there.
Metcalf put a clinic, so he's got no chance.
No, Tamari Martin is... I might need to drop him.
You never know. Wait till the team list comes out.
Yeah.
You never know.
It's a tough one. Okay, so we're agreeing on it's... to be fair, you could bet on Cowboys or the Eels for wooden spoon or most losses at 4 and 4.50. And if either of them come through, you're sitting pretty. And they're two pretty safe bets.
I don't see much changing. Even with the Moses. It will help on their attack. It doesn't help on your defense.
No. So they might score 10 or 12 points.
Mitch Moses might score 10 or 12 points.
Yeah. Hopefully he scores 70 for my fantasy. Okay, let's move on. We've got some football. There's Newcastle winning their first major trophy in 70 years.
2-1.
2-1
they look
over
really good.
Liverpool.
They looked really good against Liverpool.
That is
Very
good
impressive.
to see.
Yep, fantastic.
It's a real feel-good story watching Newcastle beat Liverpool. And I get the feeling Liverpool is stumbling a little bit here to the finish line.
Uh-oh.
I said it was all said and done. I still think it's all said and done, Liverpool's Premier League campaign. But they are stumbling.
They are stumbling. But no Champions League. No Carabao Cup to worry about.
International break now, so they're getting a rest.
They can get some rest. They'll come back. And even if they are stumbling, I don't think Arsenal is the team to catch up. And I don't think they will.
No, so there's 8 games left. I worked it out. I said Liverpool are losing to, what was it? They'll lose to us. They'll lose to Tottenham. They'll lose to Everton. They only, if they lose 4 games and win 4 games, Arsenal need to win 8 games.
Yeah.
It's a 12-point gap. So he's still got to be perfect. Liverpool need to be 50%. It's doable, but I don't see it happening, especially on the back of an international break. You can now rest and rotate the squad a little bit more.
You take Champions League out of it for that squad.
And you've got Champions League still for Arsenal. Big 2 legs against Real Madrid, which will have Saka back, hopefully.
It's got to be the focus, I think.
It's got to be. If
you're not going to
Arteta's
focus Fulham and Everton, you're going to focus Real Madrid, aren't you? Surely.
It's weird. I don't, as much as I would love Arsenal to win the Champions League, I just don't see them as a Champions League winning team. which pains me to say. But when you think
in its current state, no, and I don't think, especially when you come up against Real Madrid, who are the Champions League team of note.
Exactly. And it's like, even if you look at like Chelsea, they've won in the past. Like Arsenal have no Champions League history success in the last however long. So like, there's nothing to be like, yeah, we've done it before. We can back ourselves to do it here. Like, even if you look at Atletico Madrid, they've made finals. Borussia Dortmund, they make finals. Bayern Munich, they've made finals before. Arsenal, we get to the round of 16 quarterfinals and we don't get much further.
Well, this is the opportunity.
It is.
Against one of the big dogs. State your claim.
It is. I just, I'm not all that convinced. But if we get through, it's a lovely result, especially with no striker. Maybe Saka is the difference.
Maybe.
And Odegaard can become the artiste. I saw a post he did something. It was like the art and the artiste.
Oh, brother.
Odegaard against his former team. Did you see the Auckland FC game?
Did. May's goal, very clean.
Mm-hmm.
Almost, I'm not going to say it. And Elliott's volley as well to regain the lead.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, top draw.
Yeah, smoked it, didn't he?
Top bins as well.
Ripped it in the near post.
They'll be disappointed with the scrappy goal at the end of the game, that 90th minute.
Yeah.
It was a horrible watch. Just too many mistakes. They were playing volleyball in their box and they got punished for it.
Very messy.
People running out.
Yeah. And Central Coast aren't that side this year either, so it's a bit unfortunate for them to drop points there.
They'll be disappointed. But draw's a draw, point's a point.
Phoenix also nabbed a draw against Sydney, 1-1. And I counted the Phoenix right out of that game. I thought Sydney would breeze past them 2-3, 4-0.
Yeah.
Did you see the Adelaide game finish 5-4?
Wow.
There were some big scores in the A-League this week. The Adelaide 5-4, I'll pull it up for you now. Give me A-League. $5-4 against MacArthur. MacArthur coming out on top. 4-2 in the Western Sydney versus Melbourne victory. Western Sydney win. 3-1, the Brisbane Raw win. Brisbane Raw. 6-2, the Western United beat Newcastle Jets. High scoring weekend of A-League football. So all go with how many rounds to go? 6? 24? Yeah, 6 rounds to go until playoffs.
Yeah.
So that's heating up. What else happened over the weekend? We had the Black Caps Pakistan.
9 wickets, done and dusted.
That was a breeze. Pakistan batters didn't know how to cope with the pace and bounce of Hagley Oval.
Yeah.
And especially the height of KJ, O'Rourke, Jacob Duffy. Especially after just spending a month in Pakistan on flat highway decks where it doesn't get above your knees. So good to see the Black Caps win there. Seifert, Finn Allen, Tim Robinson doing a job up the top, chasing down that 90 with ease.
Clean and easy.
And yeah, I think that's what happened for me over the weekend at least.
Man United 3-0 on Monday.
Yeah, that's a good result. And now
good against Leicester City, even better that it's against Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Yeah, true.
Because there was a discussion not too long ago being like, you guys should have kept Ruud van Nistelrooy. And now he's, I think, 7 consecutive losses at home without scoring a goal. So, suck it.
Damn, way to treat a former legend.
No, I'm talking about the fans suggesting that we should keep an interim manager.
You're not telling Ruud to suck it?
No.
Okay.
The fans these are also the fans that would say that Bruno Fernandes is the problem, and he's been one of our most consistent players on the pitch, and is probably one of the best midfielders in the game right now. So you can't. Some of these people, their opinions are just a bit tweaked, to say the least. So good for Ruben, good for the team morale. Hoyland scored. Hoyland never scores. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fernandes as well.
And now you've got a 2-week break to break all that momentum and start building again. You probably have a couple losses, draws, and maybe start with building up a couple wins in the last couple games of the season before.
I think Europa League is huge for us. We really need to.
That's your focus,
We need to take it. Yeah. Huge from a financial perspective, huge from a morale perspective. For the manager, the coaches, the fans. So,
has any more news come out about that stadium of yours?
No, not really.
No.
Well, since the big announcement.
Yeah, okay.
5 years to complete. That's about it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to my question of the week then, the group chat question of the week. Now, I don't think you'll be too interested in this, but March Madness is underway, obviously, collegiate basketball in America. It's American sport fans love it because it is, as the name suggests, absolute chaos. It's March Madness for a reason. 32 teams, is it? No, something. Wait, no, it must be more than 32 teams, but everyone fills out a bracket. You've got a 1 in 9 gazillion chance of getting a correct bracket all the way through. And it is highly known or well regarded that March, start of April, is the best sporting / betting month in America because you've got NBA finals, or the NBA is heating up. Finals start of April. Baseball gets underway, so the MLB season actually kicks off tomorrow. You've got NHL, which is cooking.
Yeah.
And you've got March Madness, which is crazy. F1 starts as well. They love the F1 over there. You've got UFC in the mix, all the other stuff that we'd kind of appreciate too.
Packed. Jammed.
So,
jam-packed.
With that being said, March being the month of the year for the USA.
For April.
What do you think it is for us down here? What's our best sporting / betting month?
Jeevers.
We go Southern Hemisphere if you don't.
Best for who? I think obviously anytime Super Rugby and League's on, really. Certainly for me. Then you've also got A-League running. Then you've also got Premier League still going. You're missing a few. You're missing the NFL maybe for a little bit. Still got NBA.
Yep. So what, you're thinking similar? March as well?
Probably. I mean, outside of that, then you just look at any World Cup, any Rugby World Cup or FIFA World Cup year.
I struggled to come to an answer because of that exact thing. Like the big things for us are not a yearly thing that happen on the same date every year. March Madness is the same thing every year.
Yeah.
MLB opening day, same every year. Finals is the same every year. So all that American stuff that they get around is a yearly thing. Where for us, the big thing would be the Rugby World Cup.
Yeah.
Or like State of Origin. I guess State of Origin's the same year.
Yeah.
But like there's nothing specifically, I don't know.
Nothing that comes to mind. But I think having Super Rugby, NRL, A-League, Premier League, Formula One, UFC, this is like peak for me anyway. And then the only thing that tops that is integrating. You've got a World Cup.
Yeah. No, I tend to agree. March from my perspective as well because I do enjoy the NBA. I do enjoy I have no connections to March Madness or the college basketball scene, but I enjoy watching the carnage. And you might jump on a fairy tale Cinderella team, and once they lose, you forget about them. And but yeah, should we? Yeah, I think it's March. The other one's October in America because the NFL starts up again. You've got playoff baseball are the two big ones, I think.
Maybe this was it. The F1 carnage. You had.
It could have just been the weekend just gone.
You had some good Auckland FC goals. You had Man United winning 3-0. You had some close, the Chiefs v Blues winning 1 point. Arsenal probably won or something.
Yeah, they beat Chelsea 1-1.
Yeah, whatever. Good game, actually.
Yeah, it was.
But and then, going into this weekend, Carlos versus Blahovic, 23rd of March. You got Len Edwards on the card. JDM was also meant to be on that card, but Meatball Molly's there.
Meatball Molly.
It's big.
Yeah, I feel like we tend to keep saying like we've got a huge weekend of sport coming up, or there's a huge weekend of sport just been. But genuinely, looking back at that weekend just gone, that could have been maybe the biggest sporting and betting weekend like for us. Yeah, you got the F1.
AFL just started up, didn't it?
AFL started up. So what? F1, AFL, NRL, Super Rugby, A-League, Premier League.
Yeah.
The
and
players,
the fact that Super Rugby is so close.
Yeah.
It's so competitive at the moment.
The golf, which the players is like an unofficial major, essentially.
You probably won't get an F1 race like that for the rest of the season.
No. There were probably some dart masters somewhere as well.
Yeah.
Some snooker.
Yeah, exactly, on Friday, yeah.
Yeah, it was probably all go. So I think let's lock in March as well for our answer to that.
Yep.
You happy with that?
In the end, yeah.
Nice.
I think so.
All right, well, we will wrap it up there and we'll be back on Thursday to mainly focus on that All Whites Fiji game. It's big for the All Whites.
Yep.
I mean, if we're not beating Fiji, we don't deserve a World Cup spot, like you said, but we got to get to that World Cup, man.
Yeah.
It would be massive for New Zealand football to get to the World Cup. So.
Yeah, we need to.
Thank you for listening. And make sure you do tune in on Thursday because we will have our bets, and we've been cooking recently as well, to some degree.
For the most part.
So tune in on Thursday, and we'll catch you then.